the 2016 Mercedes 2500 Sprinter van. Now, this is the type of van that you see as mainly like a shuttle van, and yet you can go into a Mercedes dealership and just buy one. Welcome to this latest episode of Carbos Unboxing Reviews, and before we get started, we want to thank Mercedes-Benz of Sacramento for letting us come down and check the Sprinter van out today, because we have actually never really gotten up close in person with one of these before.
I've never been in one.
No, me neither, and I kind of like to because they're really cool. In fact,
it's like a German version of the A-Team's van.
yeah, right. I mean, look, you don't see any of those old like A-Team conventional vans anymore. They just don't make them.
That was my favorite vehicle. I was going to say van. I was actually going to say vehicle, car or van for many years.
Right. They don't make those like boxes on wheels anymore. Instead, they gave way for these long and narrow vans that originally came from Europe because they were good for delivery vans. They could fit down narrow alleyways.
Exactly. Yeah.
You're English, you get it.
Yeah. Then small roads, narrow roads, difficult to get through, busy traffic. Good for moving though.
Right. And they were also very fuel efficient.
Are they?
Fairly so. Yeah. I mean, they were diesels. They still are. And
is this a diesel?
Yes, it is. I mean, look at the size of that thing. You're not going to get a gasoline engine in that.
No, you'd be killing money.
You'd be right. And this isn't even the biggest one. This is, I believe, a 144-inch version. You can get a 170-inch version.
It looks pretty sleek.
It is. It's actually not I mean...
The door's as big as this guy here.
Yeah, right. He's pretty tall.
That's a huge old door.
And look at this interior. I mean... What's good about this is that this is Mercedes-Benz. So you're getting really nice interior quality here.
Yeah, it should be luxury enough.
Well, I'll tell you this. Those look like black leather seats. They're not. They're black leatherette.
Okay.
It's fake leather.
Brings the price down, I guess, a bit.
Well, you don't want leather seats in something as basic as this one because you're transporting people around.
It's utility.
Right, exactly. It's kind of like, these are the types of things you see as like airport shuttles.
You want it to be hard wearing.
Right, right. Or like church camp shuttle buses, kind of like that.
Yeah.
People are going to make a mess of the rear seats.
What's going on here?
Looks like you can it's available storage and you can just access the different parts of the doors.
That's where you hide your narcotics or gun or something like that.
Oh, that's perfect.
Yeah,
especially, they'll never suspect a church camp van coming back with like smuggling narcotics.
Pounds of heroin.
Right in the doors.
Or a shotgun or something.
Shotgun. And now, and the rest of this interior, you have to remember it's like, just the 2 front seat passengers, but this thing seats a total of 12 people. 2 up front, 3 in the first passenger row, 3 in the second, and 4 in the third.
That's quite a lot of people.
Right, and like I said, you can even get these even bigger wheelbases.
Can you get it without the chairs if you want?
Which chairs?
The ones in the back.
First aid kit. Yeah, that's definitely not, kind of drugs.
That's if you overdose.
Right, so it's in the other door in case if you overdose.
And you can tell by the green and white sticker there. But if you wanted this just empty at the back, can you get it empty?
Yes, you can, but that's a little different. That's going to be the cargo van. It's going to be the panels instead of the windows there. They just put the metal panels over the glass or in place of the glass. And then these things, you see them all the time. They're great cargo vans.
But are they comfortable for long road trips, though? I wouldn't want to be in that chair for too long.
I wouldn't. You're right.
I could lay down on it, maybe.
Oh, yeah. And then this one, it actually has the raised roof.
That's
an option. And you'll see just how tall this thing is momentarily. Yes. I mean, look at that. 4 in the back. Now, I definitely would not want to be in that, all the way back in that 4th row right there.
No, if you were lying down, you could handle it.
Actually, that would be... You could take a nap back there.
Yeah, you could take a nap.
Now, I always see these, like I mentioned earlier, at airports and taxi shuttles, hotel, like luxury shuttle buses, stuff like that. But what people are also doing is they're buying them just like this, and then they're customizing them.
I take them to...
Whatever they...
California Customs or something like that.
Yeah, wherever they want to take them, and boom, put a couch in the back. Heck, a jacuzzi.
Yeah, I've seen a hot tub in one of these, I think.
Really?
Yeah.
I wonder what people are doing when they drive around. I'm like, hey, I'm in my Mercedes Sprinter van in a jacuzzi.
Yeah, it's for like pimps and porn producers to take their product around town.
Their point of view videos, their
all that
POVs
sort of stuff,
in a Mercedes Sprinter van.
Yeah, that happens.
I mean, that's That's kind of cargo.
I'm sure that's not what most people are going to be doing, but
It wouldn't surprise me if it's actually being done right now.
cargo is a bit of a loose term, so you can take whatever you
Right.
want in there.
And you also have some regular conveniences, such as this 5.8-inch screen. It works okay. Look, you can see the materials here.
Very plasticky.
They're very plasticky, but it's higher quality plastic.
German plastic or what?
Germans make better plastic.
Looks like it, yeah.
And you would think Germans would make better plastic.
Yeah.
And they do, and that's what's nice about this. You're getting that German quality here. Now, the competition and there is now because...
Have they simplified it for the driver? Because this isn't going to be the normal sophisticated, S-Class driver. It's going to be a guy who just drives the van around. It's
Bob the driver.
It's not a white man. He's not a white van man. It's a silver van man.
Okay.
But he's still somewhat of a simpleton, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
And he needs basic controls. Nice big dials there. Basic
He can figure
layout.
this out.
Yeah, he can figure exactly.
That's the whole point. It's supposed to be plain Jane.
Where normal Mercedes, they sometimes overcomplicate things to make you feel like you're clever.
I see what you're saying. No. This is none of the sort. This is just plain old,
basic
simple,
to use.
basic use. That's not a manual transmission. That's actually a 7-speed transmission.
That's to light up your doobie. That's to put your beer or,
I would do that if I were driving one of these things.
Water.
That's boring.
Sorry, I mean water.
Water. No beer and a cigarette. Not
That's
a
quite
doobie.
cool, actually.
And what's good about this again is because Mercedes has been building these for quite a while. The first generation Sprinter was launched in 1995. They know how to make these things tough.
Yeah.
They've narrowed down what works and what doesn't.
Do they call this a V-Class now?
A V-Class? No, they just call this a 2500 Sprinter van.
I'm sure they have a V-Class though. I thought they rebranded it as a V-Class. Maybe the next one.
That's possible. I mean, look, the last time this one was refreshed was in 2014.
Maybe it's just for Europe, actually. They call it.
Possibly. I mean, look, in the U.S., the name Sprinter van has pretty much been signified as like the van. Everyone's like, "Oh, right, a Sprinter van." They're familiar with it.
So maybe it's just a European thing. Yeah,
It
look, basic controls on the steering wheel.
But
again, they're keeping things cheap, right? They're keeping the cost down.
They're trying to keep it cheap, and they're also just trying to keep it, driver friendly. Anybody can, with a driver's license, can handle this thing.
And it's got enough power?
It's okay. It's a 2.1 liter turbo diesel 4-cylinder. It's paired to a 7-speed automatic transmission. Power goes to the rear wheels. Now, you can get an optional 6-cylinder diesel. And there's also a 4x4 version.
Cool.
Which I think that would be really cool. Imagine the possibilities going off-road with this, but I'd be a little concerned that it would just tip over on the side.
And also, you don't want to load it with too many people. If you're going in the sand dunes with 12 people in the back.
Yeah, you will. Not only will you tip over, you'll roll all the way down those sand dunes.
Might not be so clever.
But look at that step-in height, though. I mean,
it's a good road height.
Van. I would much rather honestly be like the front seat passenger here.
I'd have to drive that probably with my top off and my arm hanging out the window with a cigarette in my mouth. That's what I feel like when I see these vans.
Really? You think it's that low of class?
I think that's what I did when I moved home once. I was like, I'm in a van. I had to take my top off. That's what people expect you to get your chest out while you're driving one of these vans.
I can see that.
That's what happens. And no one messes with you either.
Yeah. And notice that these seats are they're all manually adjust. Well, he's going fast.
I was having a sleep, man.
Oh yeah. But you can go all the way back in that. Look at that.
Yeah,
and everything is manual. And it's not electronic because that stuff's gonna break. Like I keep saying,
add weight, right?
Add weight. And Mercedes has been building these for a long time. They know that adding stuff like that, not only is it heavier, that's kind of beside the point. It's that it's just going to break eventually. And these vans just get a lot of use.
And they don't need it. They don't need it.
People
don't want it.
Look at that. I mean...
That's pretty spacious.
But imagine just getting rid of those seats and putting like a couple of lazy boys, a couch.
Yeah, it'd be nice.
And
maybe 4, fat chairs facing each other that can swivel around.
Yeah. Maybe like some... I don't know.
There you go. He's standing up.
Yeah, look at that. He's pretty tall.
I believe he's a 6-footer, this guy.
Yeah, he's about 6 feet there. And because this one has the raised ceiling, it's optional, costs a few extra $1,000. But look at that. He's just walking around.
No problem.
People are buying these, what they call tiny houses now. Have you heard of that?
No.
In the U.S., people are it's like the tiny house movement, where sometimes they're literally on trailers and you can set it down, and it's just all about being smart with space, and this thing kind of reminds me of that a little bit.
A few modifications you could probably
you really could. This could be like a tiny house on wheels.
You get a bunk bed in there. So that's
you could, or a loft, and like a little kitchenette underneath.
Nice. TV, flat screen TV. Obviously, you need.
I would honestly put the flat screen. I would cover up one of the windows.
Or at least
just put it right on the side, or something like that.
Or at least get curtains so you can shade out the glass if you need.
Oh yeah, I'm pretty sure even Mercedes offers optional curtains on these. I mean, they're just
you normally see them, don't
shades.
You do normally see them actually.
Or tinted windows.
Yeah.
But this is it's kind of in between a regular van and a bus.
Okay, yeah.
And you don't, from what I understand, you don't need a special driver's license for one of these.
No, you don't.
It's still classified as a regular van.
And you can get enough luggage there. Look.
Oh man,
chunk of space there. 12 people's suitcases, no problem.
And that's just with the rear seats still in there. You can remove those. They're just benches.
How? Well, you can buy these. They're removable right now. Or you can buy. You mean you can buy the van without them?
No, it comes with it.
But you can just take them out.
You can just take them out, right?
Oh, really?
So you don't need the fourth row. You can see it on the tracks area. You know, it's just sort of attached. You just unhook it literally, or unattach it, take it out, and boom, you have a lot more cargo space. Because sometimes you're not always going to need that fourth row.
Yeah,
all the way
you're not
there.
always going to carry 12 people, are you?
Oh yes, the heart of it all, the little 2.1 liter turbo diesel. It's
powerful. It's powerful enough.
It's powerful enough, but you're not going fast. 0 to 60 miles per hour. Get this, 11.4 seconds.
That's fine in the van.
So you'll get there eventually.
Yeah, that's fine.
I mean, yeah, but look how much a bigger engine could go in there.
Just try not to hit too many lights. Just build yourself up to a decent speed and try and maintain.
I would probably go for the 6-cylinder turbo diesel, just because these things, they get heavy.
Yeah, it's planning to take a lot of people. Sorry, I interrupted the engine there, which
I know. You just had to hear that engine.
Yeah, I'm sure you enjoyed that all.
I mean, diesel.
But yeah, what I was saying, it depends how you're going to use it. You know, if you're going to use this occasionally full of people, then you don't need the powerful engine.
No, usually these things, they take a beating, and Mercedes knows that. They just constantly...
They used a lot?
Yeah.
People that buy these, they put a lot of mileage on them.
Well, all right, who's going to buy it? Say a hotel chain or a limo chain, and that's what they're tasked with doing, taking people where they need to go, whether it's a hotel, taking their guests back and forth to the airport, to meetings.
But say I'm a guy with 10 kids.
Okay.
How much am I going to have to pay for one of these things?
Okay, the base price, which is actually pretty reasonable, is just under $40,000.
I can handle that.
But this one comes with a lot of options. For an example, this brilliant silver metallic exterior paint. That costs an extra $990.
Can live without that.
Yeah, the chromed radiator grille, an extra $236.
Nope, no thanks.
The premium appearance package, about another $1,400 nearly, which is like a headlamp cleaning system and light alloy wheels.
Pass again.
Pass, yeah. The leatherette black interior is an extra $335.
Definitely pass.
Yep. The high roof.
Probably get that.
I would get that. That costs about an extra $2,500. But I think that's money well spent.
That's okay, yeah.
Look, a 6-footer was able to stand up inside of it.
People will probably want that for selling it on later as well. They'll appreciate it. They'll probably want to look for the taller one.
Right. And then this one, the other optional package it comes with is the Active Safety Plus package for an extra about $2,600. So, grand total, you're looking at this vehicle right here, $56,147.
It's quite a bit,
it's quite a bit. Now, aside really from that, the tall roof package, I wouldn't pay for most of that extra stuff. I think it's fine as is. Maybe the 6-cylinder costs a couple grand more, but it just, you don't have to have it.
Sure.
So now some of this thing's competitors, because other automakers have realized that this is a segment that it's profitable for them, and these things don't cost them that much to make. You have the Ford Transit.
Classic, yeah.
Right, that's classic, but it's still pretty new to the U.S.
Really?
Generally speaking,
okay.
yeah. You also have the new Nissan NV, which is going to also be doubling up as new New York City taxi cabs.
Oh, okay, I remember those. Yeah,
exactly.
They're
And
nice
then
looking things.
and then you also have the Ram ProMaster, which is kind of interesting because now it's Dodge's own version. They went and built their own, and then they used to rebadge these as Dodge Sprinters.
They also used the name Sprinter?
Right, but it was a Mercedes van
Right.
with a Dodge emblem. They were just rebadged.
Well, when it's all under Daimler.
Right. Well, it was still Mercedes built, and then Dodge was like they had a deal going
Okay.
where
fair
they
enough.
just rebadged them as Dodge Sprinters.
Okay, that's
And then, but they
weird.
ended that, and now the Ram division is building their own. So it's a great vehicle. You need to go to church camp. You're a hotel owner. You need to take, or you want to start a limo service, and you want to customize one of these things. About 40 grand. That's your starting off price.
Put another 10 grand into customizing it.
Yeah,
Bob's
as well.
Bob's your
Only 10 grand. Well, anyway, we're out of time today. Thanks everyone for watching. Any more questions for us? Leave them in the comment section below, and we'll see you on the next Carbuzz unboxing review. And subscribe to our channel here.
Happy vanning.
Yep, happy vanning.